In Luke's account of the Olivet prophecy, he records a certain warning. Christ was inspired to tell his disciples to say, "But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation is near." So in Revelation, we saw that the city would fall, and now here Christ is giving the warning. He says, look, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by enemies, it's going to fall this time. Jerusalem's been surrounded by enemies many times. It has fallen in the past. It's fought off attackers in the past. But this is very clearly talking about the context of the end times. But it says, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation is near. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. So this is a signal for people who are in the region to flee because of what is about to occur. In Matthew's account, we see a similar warning for people to flee, but it's a different mark from which they're supposed to flee from. It says, therefore, this is Matthew the 24th chapter, verse 15, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, whoever reads, let him understand, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Now, there's a couple of different ways we could understand this. We could understand this as two different occasions where God's people are told to flee on two separate occasions here. But that certainly does not seem to hold up. It seems far more likely, and we'll even see more things will align here, that these events are going to be concurrent. That when Jerusalem is surrounded by armies, that is when the abomination of desolation is established. And those two elements in conjunction with one another form this benchmark that should be looked for that will be a signal to flee. Now, Daniel gives more information. We already saw a connection between Revelation's account and Luke's account, talking about the fall of Jerusalem. Now, Daniel's account is actually going to relate far more closely to Matthew's account. As we understand, in Matthew's account of the Olivet prophecy, it specifically says, the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel. So let's turn to Daniel, the 12th chapter, and we'll look at what's stated there. It says in Daniel, the 12th chapter, verse 11, it says, and from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away, and the abomination of desolation is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Now, this is another, you didn't realize you were going to have to do so much math this evening, so I apologize for those who hate numbers. But 1,290, minus 1,260 leaves you with 30 days, or a span of a month. And so how do we fit this in there? Well, we have Jerusalem surrounded, as is described in Luke's account. We have the sacrifices stopping and the abomination of desolation being set up. And those all act in conjunction as instruction to flee. And because that marker in Daniel is given as 1,290 days, we know that that's 30 days before the beginning of the Great Tribulation and ultimately the day of the Lord, the beginning of this 42-month or 3.5-year period. With these major milestones put in, we can start to fill in some of the gaps. We can start to piece in and see where other aspects of prophecy fall in line, how they fit within this framework. Because in Daniel, in Matthew, in Luke, and in Revelation, we have such concrete evidence put forward where clearly the same event is being described, and one account or the other provides a numerical value that we can plug in, a number of days, a number of months, or a number of years that we can plug in and see what's going on. And then from there, we can put other things in their context.